My wife said our anniversary dinner was a surprise. The surprise was another man at the table, who she introduced as her new partner. I replied, "Charming." Then I paid for my meal and walked out. Next day I filed for divorce. Now she was frantically calling, but I had already blocked her number. I 42 male, I'm still trying to process the sheer audacity. Our 15th wedding anniversary. Victoria, 40F, said she had a special surprise dinner planned. I was genuinely looking forward to it. We get to this fairly upscale restaurant, the kind you save for occasions. She's beaming. We're seated, order drinks. Then she says, "The surprise isn't just the restaurant, Nathan," and gestures to the entrance. In walks this guy, let's call him Austin, early 40s. Smug look. He comes to our table. Victoria stands up, takes his hand and says, "Nathan, this is Austin, my new partner." I swear, you could have heard a pin drop, at least in my head. Everything went quiet. I looked at Austin, then at Victoria, who was watching me with this expectant, almost challenging expression. New partner? Partner. I just paused, took a sip of water. Then I said, "Charming." Austin smirked. Victoria looked a bit thrown, like she expected fireworks, yelling, a scene. Maybe she even wanted it. I signaled the waiter, asked for the bill for my drink and my half of the appetizer we'd ordered before Austin the Magnificent arrived. Paid it. Cash. Put my napkin on the table. "Well," I said, standing up, "you two enjoy the rest of your debut, I guess." And I walked out. Didn't look back. The next morning I was at Miss Kelly's office, my lawyer. Papers were filed for divorce by lunchtime. Cause, irreconcilable differences, adultery, simple, clean. My phone started blowing up about an hour later. Victoria, voicemails, texts. Then her sister Janice started. I haven't listened to any of them. Blocked Victoria's number, then Janice's. What's there to say? She showed me everything I needed to know at that table. It's been quiet for a few days on the phone front. I guess they realized I wasn't picking up. I'm staying at my buddy Jesse's place. The silence is both deafening and peaceful. I feel strangely calm, like a switch flipped. The shock is there, sure, under the surface. But mostly, I'm just focused on the next step, dissolution. Update 1. Hey everyone. Thanks for the comments on my original post. A lot of you shared similar stories or just words of support. Appreciate it. It's weirdly comforting to know you're not the only one blindsided by a grenade in your life. So, an update. The quiet didn't last long. After a few days of silence, Victoria apparently figured out I wasn't going to engage directly, so she escalated. She couldn't reach my phone, so she started emailing. Long rambling messages. How I overreacted. How I was immature for just walking out and not talking it through. Talking what through? Her having a boyfriend she brought to our anniversary dinner? Seriously? She said Austin was a significant person in her life, and she wanted to be honest and upfront by introducing us. The sheer level of delusion is breathtaking. She actually wrote, "I thought you'd be adult enough to handle it, Nathan. We could have discussed a modern arrangement." A modern arrangement. LOL. No thanks. Then her sister Janice, 42F, chimed in. Oh boy, Janice. She sent me a long, sanctimonious email. She found my work email, clever girl, about how Victoria is sensitive and going through a lot, and how I clearly never understood her needs. She also implied I was cold and distant, and that's why Victoria sought comfort elsewhere. Classic blame the victim stuff. Apparently, Janice thinks I should be apologizing to Victoria for making her feel awkward by, filing for divorce after she publicly humiliated me. The entitlement is astounding. They genuinely seem to believe Victoria did nothing wrong, or at least nothing that wrong. It's like they live in a different reality, where societal norms and basic decency don't apply to them. Miss Kelly, my lawyer, got the official serve confirmation on Victoria. She also sent a cease and desist to Janice regarding the emails to my work. Small victories. Victoria also tried showing up at Jesse's. He answered the door, told her I wasn't seeing anyone, and that all communication needed to go through my lawyer. She apparently threw a bit of a fit on his doorstep, something about me being cruel and hiding. Jesse just deadpanned. He's not hiding, he's moving on. You should try it. Then he closed the door. Gotta love Jesse. I had a brief moment of weakness last night, stared at the ceiling wondering if I missed signs. 15 years, man. It's a long time to be with someone. You think you know them. Then this. But the feeling passed. It's not sadness for her. It's for the time, the shared memories that now feel tainted. But mostly it's resolve. She made her choice. Now she deals with the consequences. I'm just making sure those consequences are fair and square. No direct contact from Austin, thankfully. I get the feeling he's the type to let Victoria fight her battles until it inconveniences him. We'll see. Update 2 OP here. Things are escalating, as I kind of figured they would. The initial shock from Victoria and her cheerleading squad, mainly Janice, has morphed into full-blown entitled rage. It's almost fascinating to watch, like a nature documentary about a particularly unpleasant species. So, Miss Kelly formally sent over the initial divorce settlement proposal. Standard stuff for our jurisdiction. Since we don't have kids, and our major finances like bank accounts were always kept separate, a blessing looking back, the asset division should have been straightforward. Our main asset is the house we owned. I proposed we sell it and split the equity, or she could buy me out if she wanted to keep it. Simple, fair. Apparently, Victoria and Austin thought this was an outrageous injustice. Her lawyer, a real shark, from what Miss Kelly says, probably expensive. Wonder who's footing that bill. Hint, not Victoria's part-time yoga instructor income, sent back a counterproposal that was pure fantasy. Get this, Victoria wants the entire house. Her reasoning? Emotional distress caused by my abrupt abandonment, her words, after she tried to be transparent about Austin. She also wants spousal support, a hefty $3,000 a month because she sacrificed her career potential for our marriage. This is news to me, considering she willingly chose to work part-time, and I always supported her various ventures that never quite took off. And she has a new partner, who is supposedly her future. Austin finally made an appearance, sort of. He was with Victoria when she got served the initial papers at her new shared apartment. Yes, they moved in together fast. According to the process server, Austin was very smug, arm around Victoria, telling the server to get lost. Later, Victoria, in one of her emails, she found another email address for me. Persistent little. Mentioned that Austin thinks your offer is insulting and shows how little you valued me. Oh, Austin is an expert on our marriage now? Charming. Janice has been on a social media rampage. Vague posts about selfish men and supporting my sister through a tough time with a narcissist. She's not naming names, but it's obvious. Some of our mutual acquaintances have reached out, confused. I've kept it simple. Victoria ended our marriage in a surprising way. I've filed for divorce. All communication is through lawyers. I'm not playing her games. The dirty tricks have begun. Victoria is now claiming I was financially controlling, hence her wanting the house and support. She's also trying to claim that a valuable antique inherited by my grandmother, which was in our house, was a gift to the marriage, and thus marital property. It's explicitly mentioned in my grandmother's will as mine alone. Miss Kelly just sighed and said, "Standard tactics. Don't worry, we have documentation." The audacity is the part that gets me. She brings another man to our anniversary dinner, effectively detonating our marriage, and I'm the bad guy? I'm the one causing her distress? It's wild. I'm sticking to my guns. No direct contact. Every demand, every accusation goes straight to Miss Kelly. She's earning her fee, that's for sure. I'm calm, but there's a cold fury brewing, not the explosive kind. The patient, methodical kind. She wants a fight? Fine, but it'll be a fight based on facts, not her dramatic reinterpretations of reality. One small detail, Jesse found out from a friend of a friend that Austin isn't exactly a captain of industry. He apparently has a string of failed startups and a taste for other people's money. This might get interesting. Update 3. So after Victoria's ridiculous demands and accusations of me being a financial tyrant, Miss Kelly scheduled a mediation session. Victoria, Austin, yes, he came, looking like he owned the place, probably wearing a new watch he couldn't afford. Janice, as Victoria's emotional support, lol, and their lawyer were on one side, me and Miss Kelly on the other. Victoria started by reiterating her demands. The house, the spousal support, the antique. Her lawyer presented her case, painting her as a wronged woman, emotionally devastated, financially vulnerable. Janice chimed in with teary endorsements of Victoria's victimhood, occasionally glaring at me. Austin sat there, smirking, patting Victoria's hand like he was comforting a delicate flower. The whole performance was nauseating. Victoria even accused me of hiding assets, trying to build on her financially controlling narrative. She claimed I had a secret slush fund I used for lavish personal expenses while she struggled. It was a bold lie, crafted to make me look bad and justify her demands. Then it was Miss Kelly's turn, and oh, it was beautiful. Calmly, methodically, she dismantled their entire fantasy. First, the emotional distress. Miss Kelly presented a sworn affidavit from the waiter at the anniversary restaurant, corroborating my account of Victoria introducing Austin as her new partner. Miss Nat Kelly then began to outline the timeline of the affair. Nathan engaged a private investigator immediately following the anniversary dinner, she explained. While the initial findings were swift, the completed investigation, presented today, details a pattern of behavior. She then presented the full PI report. It showed Victoria and Austin meeting regularly, very intimately, for at least 6 months prior to the anniversary, complete with date-stamped photos and copies of reservation details from various establishments. So much for her transparency and my abrupt abandonment. The surprise was a calculated, cruel ambush. Victoria's face went pale. Austin's smirk wavered. Second, the financial control and sacrificed career. Miss Kelly produced years of my bank statements showing consistent support for Victoria's ventures, tuition for courses she took, even down payments for cars she wanted. She also had emails where Victoria explicitly stated she preferred working part-time to have more freedom. The spousal support claim evaporated. Third, the antique. My grandmother's will, clearly stipulating it was mine alone. End of discussion. Fourth, the house. Miss Kelly proposed a standard buyout or sale. Before Victoria's lawyer could argue further, Miss Kelly turned to the matter of Victoria's spending. While Nathan maintained separate bank accounts, she stated, Victoria was a supplementary cardholder on one of his credit cards, with the explicit understanding it was for agreed-upon household expenses or emergencies. She then produced itemized credit card statements for the past year. We see a deviation starting approximately 6 months ago, coinciding with the affair. Charges amounting to just over $5,000 for high-end dinners for 2 at establishments Nathan never frequented with her, hotel bar tabs, boutique purchases for men's items, and weekend getaways, all aligning with dates and locations established in the PI report concerning Mr. Austin. The implication was clear. Marital funds, even if indirectly via credit Nathan was responsible for, were used to finance the affair. Fifth, Miss Kelly addressed Victoria's new partner, Mr. Austin. She presented public records showing Austin had a significant amount of debt, 2 CCJs against him from previous landlords, and a history of failed businesses where investors lost money. She even had a statement from one of Austin's ex-business partners, detailing his pattern of financial irresponsibility and manipulative behavior. Austin turned a fascinating shade of purple. Victoria looked like she'd been slapped. Janice actually gasped. The mediator looked at Victoria, then at her lawyer. The air in the room was thick with Victoria's shattered entitlement. Her lawyer, to his credit, looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him. He quickly asked for a recess. When they came back, their tune had changed. Suddenly, they were very agreeable to selling the house and splitting the equity 50-50. No spousal support. The antique was mine. The $5,000 plus Victoria had effectively misappropriated via the credit card for her affair would be documented as marital debt she was responsible for, to be deducted from her share of the house equity. Victoria was silent, just staring at Austin, who was avoiding her gaze and looking utterly deflated. Janice was white-faced and quiet for once. The revenge, if you can call it that, wasn't about being cruel. It was about the truth. It was about her facing the direct, unvarnished consequences of her actions and her greed. She tried to play dirty, to lie and manipulate her way to a better settlement, and it blew up in her face spectacularly. The best part? The mediator noted Victoria's attempts to mislead the process. While not perjury, yet it will be on record if she tries anything else. I walked out of there feeling lighter than I had in months. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the quiet click of facts slotting into place. Final update. Hey everyone, it's been 6 months since that very satisfying mediation session. The divorce was finalized about 2 months ago. The terms agreed upon in mediation held. The house sold, for a decent price thankfully, even in this market, and the equity was split after deducting Victoria's credit card spree from her share. I got my grandmother's antique back without further issue. So what happened to Victoria, Austin, and Janice? Victoria, from what I hear through the grapevine, because I maintain zero contact, is not having a good time. The money from the house sale wasn't the windfall she and Austin were apparently expecting, especially after lawyer fees and repaying for her affair-funded expenses. Austin, predictably, didn't stick around long once it became clear Victoria wasn't going to be his meal ticket. Last I heard, he was exploring new opportunities, aka looking for his next mark. And Victoria was living in a small rental, trying to make ends meet with her part-time yoga gig. The sensitive soul is learning about real-world finances. No change of heart, though. Mutual friends who tried to talk to her said she's still bitter, blaming me for ruining her life and not being more generous. Entitlement dies hard, I guess. Janice has been remarkably quiet on social media, at least concerning me or Victoria's marital woes. I think the mediation and seeing Victoria's lies exposed so clinically might have actually embarrassed her into silence. Or maybe she just found a new drama to glom onto. Some people thrive on it. As for me, I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. The first few weeks after the divorce was final were a bit strange, like adjusting to a new gravity. But I've settled into my new place. It's smaller than the house, but it's mine, and it's peaceful. I've reconnected with old friends, picked up a couple of hobbies I'd let slide. Jesse's been a rock as always. There was a brief moment of emotional vulnerability a while back. I was packing some old photos and found one of me and Victoria from early in our marriage. We looked happy, young, and for a minute I felt a pang of something. Not regret for the divorce, but a sadness for the good years that were ultimately wasted, for the person I thought she was. But it passed. I'm not dwelling on it. The calm I felt after that disastrous anniversary dinner has mostly stayed with me. It's not a cold calm anymore, more like a settled peace. I learned a lot about myself through this, mostly that I'm stronger and more resilient than I thought. I also learned the value of a good lawyer and meticulous record keeping. No new relationships on the horizon yet, and I'm in no rush, just enjoying my freedom and rebuilding. Maybe someday. For now, I'm good. Thanks again for all the support and DMs. It helped, more than you know. To anyone going through something similar, stay strong, stick to the facts, and don't let them drag you into their circus. Justice, in whatever form it takes, is worth fighting for calmly and rationally. Peace out.